Hey, scrapbook friends, it's Nicole, and I'm here at long last with an album flip through of my family reunion album. I spent most of this year working on this album, started it in probably February when I realized that our every 3-year family reunion was coming up in July of 2024, and I hadn't finished the 2021 scrapbooks yet. That's kind of my goal always. I take them, my husband and I, we always drive, and we do this every 3 years. And the first year I fit it into one album. The second year I think it was in 2 albums. Then it was 3 albums. And I thought this would be 3 or 4. Yeah, it's 5. I think actually 2018 was 4. So I should have known better. But as everybody has phones and is taking pictures, you'll see. Which pictures could I have left out? I don't know. So this album that says Choose Joy, this was a tribute album for one of Creative Memories' original founding members, Susan Ida Peterson, who passed away this summer, and earlier this year, and this was kind of her motto, to choose joy. And I thought it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to be remembered. However, when I went to make these albums, this book cloth color was sold out, and so I couldn't get a matching spine. So I chose to do the silver metallic. I wish I could get pink foil. I would have liked it a little bit better. And I don't hate it. When it's on the shelf, you definitely just see, the silver with the little pink lines. I don't mind that. Although when I was getting ready to do this video, I will admit that it took me far longer than it should have to find these albums, because I was looking for 5 pink albums, and instead on the bookshelf, they look like they were silver. So here we go with our family reunion album. So my family name is Smith, and 2021, of course. This is the artwork we had on our t-shirts. You'll see it later in one of the other albums. My daughter likes to joke that any sequel should just be called Return to the Sea. RoboCop 2, Return to the Sea. The Santa Claus 2, Return to the Sea. So it's just kind of a family joke. And then when we got going, this was our 4th reunion together, we added in the other things, Two Bear, Two Lake, Revenge of the Smith, and then the sequel. So just kind of a weird, our family has an odd sense of humor, I guess. But this was our t-shirt design, and so I just printed it out to put as my title page. And you'll see that my title pages are not the same in all 5 books, but they all have this kind of somewhere on there, and I tried to keep them fairly consistent. So I think I printed this out first, and then I figured out what size the squares needed to be, and there's a little extra strip to fill in. I think these are 2 and 3/4 inch squares, but I think it looks nice, and you'll see this same kind of design in all the title pages. I do try to keep some consistency, even though I changed almost everything. You are going to see, hopefully, kind of the same theme going on. So one of the things that I think we're going to notice as we look through this scrapbook together is that I didn't do as much journaling as I normally do, and partly that's because I was scrapbooking so many people's pictures. Partly it's because I was furiously rushing to finish this up, and in fact there's at least one layout that is not done, and a couple others that I have put post-it notes on that need things to finish. But hopefully getting these out to show them to you is going to inspire me to do those things that I made a note about 2 months ago. So this is our travel 2 page. I actually really love this layout where I did an 8x8 square, and then these are 3 3/4 inch squares. And this, let's see, does this have, this is this piece, the 12. So that's the 8 and the 4 right there, even though you can't see it because I completely covered it up. And this is with Wanderlust. So we had all of these pictures with, we have the Life 360 app. And so all these pictures as people were coming in, wherever they were coming from. And then everybody always takes a selfie, like as they get on the road or as they're traveling. We all like to take a selfie in the car. So it's just our car selfies. So I didn't really do any journaling on there. Maybe I need to, but I think you can tell by looking at this. This is, here we come to the reunion. So we always rent a big giant vacation house through VRBO. My niece, who was 8 at the time, made little signs for everybody. So these are pictures of all the signs of who was going to go, go where, and then just some pictures of the house, which I thought was fun. These pages, I had a bunch of just scenery pictures, and this is the summer break paper that just came out this summer, and it had this ombre. So you're going to see it again on a later page, but I used this one with kind of the blue sky, the green, and the dark green, just for the views. This is the views from the backyard of that house. This is Bear Lake, which is on the border of Utah and Idaho. I think we were on the Utah side this year. Last time we did it there, we were on the Idaho side. But it was just beautiful. I had this huge, big backyard. It was perfect for all of our activities. We really, really did enjoy that. One thing that I did here is I wanted to have my triangle design notch up against itself. You know, so it wasn't the points together, but it was the points went into the valleys. And so what I had to do was right here, I had to cut this. I couldn't, you know, it's punched with a border maker, so I couldn't just punch two and lay them down. I needed to cut it somewhere, and I tried to cut it someplace where it would be kind of unobtrusive, and, you know, hopefully nobody else ever notices that. I'm just telling you guys because you're my scrapbook friends. So in case you ever want to do that, to have the, you know, instead of having it line up point to point, to fit those points in the valleys. Juan's birthday happened to be the day that we arrived, and this layout is actually the party time project recipe. So I did in this album use a whole bunch of project recipes I've made over the last several years. It was fantastic. It made it so fast to just be able to pull out, oh, this project recipe is going to work. It's already done. And so I'll try to point out when we get to those. So you can ask your advisor, or you can ask me if you want the directions for any of these project recipes. You know, or if you are an advisor, you can access all the archives of project recipes going back to 2016. So this paper is just kind of us. The Serenity paper is what I use for the title page. And so a lot of the pictures that are just kind of around the house, I just use Serenity. I think this might have been a pre-made layout that I did maybe in a CCI class, but I did not put, like, I think this is supposed to be a photo mat there and a photo mat there and a photo mat there. I just ignored it. I just put my pictures down however I needed them to be, put a tiny bit of journaling about that we had several large comfy couches, and that was really nice. We had these all sorts of places for everybody to sit. This was the back deck. This might be a layout from one of the virtual crops, actually. You know, I do a lot of those just as I'm going, when I'm working out a crop and they've come out with some new project or some new sketches for that month, I'll try to incorporate them, but I don't truthfully remember. Maybe I can figure that out later on. But this probably is a sketch from a virtual crop. This one I love. This is the Serene Waters. So little Colton was 3, maybe 2. He's the baby of all of the cousins, and this house had a water fountain inside it. So he loved playing with it, and I got this little series of pictures of him. I used some vellum right here, which I don't use a lot of vellum, and I don't know that it makes a huge difference, but I do kind of like the way the vellum, especially right here over the mosaic, kind of gave a little bit of a different look. This one, I love this picture of Katie, because this is her gross out face. Both of them, my husband, Princeton, and Katie, having these gross out faces. They're watching this. But then the irony is that Katie loves to pop people's pimples. And so I'm going to open this up. If you get easily grossed out, you may not want to look at it. It's not graphic, but it just show her, you know, popping people's pimples. You know, the cousin, she's like, ooh, you got one. Come sit down. Let me get it. So I thought it was funny to kind of juxtapose the pictures of her popping pimples with them and her grossed out face watching Dr. Pimple Popper. And I did use a little sticker here to be a tab. And I put photos under this tab. Might be a little bit icky. So I don't think they are icky. Oh, and then of course this paper that was from the Totally Tonal Red was perfect for pimples, right? With all the red spots. And this is also from Totally Tonal Red, and of course the 12x6 Peekaboo Pocket. So this is the other paper from summer break, that ombre paper. This one is the yellow and kind of the apricot and the orange. And this went great for the sunrise pictures. I said it's easier to watch the sunrise when your body is still in an earlier time zone, which is true. I'm more of a sunset kind of girl. But the way this house faced, we didn't see the sunset, we saw the sunrise. So my daughter Katie had this great idea to make Pokemon cards of all the kids, and you're going to see those a little bit later on. They were a big hit, and I probably put more pictures about the Pokemon cards in this scrapbook than I needed to. I had pre-made all of these layouts in a class that I had taught at one of my retreats. So I had 5 or 6 layouts made with the This Life collection, and I wanted to use them. I was trying to use up things that I had. So I stretched it out a little bit, but also my parents have 25 grandchildren. And so I wanted to put as many of the kids in as I could. I mean, there's not a lot of pictures of only the same people. But it was fun. I said that Katie had the brilliant idea to create the Pokemon style trading cards of all the cousins. Everybody submitted a photo, a nickname, and their strength ratings. Katie designed and made the cards, then packaged them in mystery packs for every cousin. So this is her passing them out. And then the next page, I believe, is the kids opening them up. It was so fun to watch as each person opened their pack of cards, see which cousins they got. The goal turned into getting, quote, the whole set of various families. So again, this is another layout from that class, but you can see that I had 2 photo mats here and a photo mat here. So really it wasn't, you know, I think, a little one up here. I think that was supposed to be journaling, but I just ignored those photo mats, and I think it works fine. So if you have pre-made layouts that have photo mats on them and you think, well, that doesn't work with my pictures, you would be surprised at how much you can do. Just make them work. You know, just put them on there. You don't ignore those photo mats. Scrapbooking is supposed to be for your convenience and not for the convenience of the photo mats. So a little bit more. Oh, even Anna and Sarah had cards, but their siblings got to open it for them. So two of the cousins weren't there, and I probably need to put that journaling in earlier about who was at the reunion, because now you're gonna be like, well, of course, why would they not be there? But they were not there. So here's more of the cards. This is the back side of the card. There wasn't really a game to go along with the cards. It was just fun to look at them and try to trade cards. So again, photo mats that I kind of ignored and did my own thing. And like I say, I kind of went a little crazy with I wanted to use this Life paper, and I thought it went great with the Pokemon cards. All through the week of the reunion, it was fun to catch the kids playing with their cards. And then here's all the cards. And there are 25 grandchildren, so it didn't quite fit. So I had to add, again, another peekaboo pocket so that they could, we could fit the others on here. But it was just fun because the kids, made up their names: Turbo, Slam Dunk, Whistling Wolf, the Art Assassin. So I wish we could do it every year, but it was a ton of work for Katie. She didn't really want to do it again. But we had a lot of fun with these cards, and I'm very thankful that Katie saved the file. So these are not cards; they're just printouts of the front and the back. But they're now preserved forever for posterity. And I think I need to put a little sticker on here so people will know to open it up, but I didn't. I haven't yet. Maybe I will. I want to do something with this was Electric Summer, I think. So this one I'm thrilled about because this was a project recipe from National Scrapbook Day. I think this is actually this year's National Scrapbook Day. I am not an outdoorsy person. Those of you who know me are not surprised by this. I don't have hiking pictures because I don't go hiking. Hiking is like having to park far out in the parking lot. But my family loves to hike, and I will say that hiking in Utah is very different than hiking in Alabama. And maybe if I lived out in Utah, I might like to hike a little bit more than I do. But I was able to use my National Scrapbook Day layouts. Some of these are the project recipes. Some of these are from the customer bundle project booklet. Some of them might even be Debbie Martin's Paper Pack to Pretty Pages. I don't know. They were just in my bin of pre-made layouts, and I was so excited to be able to use them. So even with the little critters. And again, I ignored some photo mats to make the pictures fit the way I needed them to fit. And of course, I covered up the borders. All right, that might have just been the 2. I don't know what those are. Maybe we'll see more. Then I have some pool pictures, and I will admit to you that there are way more pool pictures, and I couldn't figure out why I only have a couple layouts of pool pictures. It's because in January, I went to my friend's retreat up in Maryland, and I took one of the little photo boxes with pictures to work on there. And when I came home, it didn't get put back with my scrapbooking stuff. And so, I forgot that I had it until last month when I was getting ready to travel to a retreat, and I found it. So I may at some point add a few more pool pages into these scrapbooks and see if anybody notices at the next reunion, which is in 3 years. Nobody will. This is with Sweet Summer, which was the 2023 summer paper pack. I love this paper pack. I love the pinks, the purples, the yellows. So I used it for several things in here, especially the water pictures. And with this one, I kind of did a plus sign. I was trying to do just the plus, but then I had an extra picture that I needed to fit in there. So, it just had this strip across the middle and that. And of course, then I did the strips around the edges. And I was going to miter the corners, which I often do, but I decided that nobody would care, and not even me. So I didn't miter the corners. I just used the stickers and embellishments that came with the kit. With the collection, it went really fast. And then this one is pretty much the same layout. There's that pink stripe along the middle, except I didn't bother with the plus. And frankly, you can barely see the pink in the middle, and I probably could have just skipped it. But I squeezed in a whole bunch of pictures, so I'd have lots of pictures of us playing in this pool, which we're so excited about because the house had an indoor pool with these big sliding glass doors. We didn't realize, and I haven't journaled, we didn't realize that they had safety locks on them, so they only opened like 3 inches, and it was muggy and steamy and awful and chlorine-y in this pool room. Not our favorite pool in any of the VRBOs we've had. This one doesn't have any title or journaling. I don't know if I meant to or I just got lazy, but this was just the pool table down in the basement. And so another one of the paper packs that I used, this was Shiplap, I think, or Bold and Slate. This might have been Bold and Slate, which was the quarterly advisor paper pack from January. And so I had a few of these left over from my retreat. And so I used it for, again, some of just the things around the house. This one is just the kids eating food, just fun pictures. This I'm pretty sure was a virtual crop sketch as well. I didn't journal, and I haven't put names on every single picture. And I know that's kind of against the rules, and perhaps I need to go back and put names on all of these. But this is a whole series of albums, and theoretically, if they stay together, people will be able to then look at the album that has our portraits. We had a portrait session, be able to look at that one and tell who is who. So we'll see. And with this is the Totally Tonals from last year, and I use the Totally Tonal stickers. And unfortunately, I realized that I see some of the same phrases because they use the same phrases on many of the colors. But I think it turned out cute. It uses the double rickrack chain. I just used one of them. I love how this page looks. This, I think, was the Something Blue project recipe. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I made this up myself. Definitely the Something Blue paper. And I just barely noticed I didn't dot my I. So I need to find my white ABC stickers and put a little dot on that I. Just said, everybody's glad that Uncle Princeton always brings his ukulele. So, of course, that's my husband, my daughter. I think she's playing a salt shaker or something. And, all the kids playing here on the ukulele. And I did love that I was able to crop this guy down and use this little tiny photo mat. It actually might have been an embellishment. This was the Staycation project recipe. Uses the dime punch, has the 2 half circles. And again, I crammed more pictures in instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it was 6, 7, 8. My pictures didn't match that. I had to do it how they worked. And I ignored the mats, and I think it looks fantastic. I said all the families take turns cooking the meals, and all the food is yummy. So, and then the frosted sugar cookies are always a big hit. Here's little 2-year-old Colty with 2 cookies, and his little sister too, 1 for each hand, I guess. And here's the How Sweet It Is again, which I didn't necessarily mean to put like right after the other How Sweet It Is, which was right here. So don't tell anyone. Back to Serenity. This looks to me like a virtual crop sketch with the little mats going off the sides, but just, kind of the generic things happening around. I said a favorite activity at our reunions is that we each make a goodie bag and all the other family members fill it up with treats and love notes. So that is a really fun thing. So this is everybody decorating their bags, and then we just had a whole shelf along the window, and everybody's bag was in there. And throughout the week, people would write notes. Some of the moms brought, candy, like trick-or-treat size candy, and put it in the bags. It was very fun. I actually think this layout right here is one that I posted on my Facebook page after I did it, because I did a frame, an inside frame, like a 1-inch frame, which a technique I think I've showed you guys before, but I used the scallop blade, which I haven't done very much with the decorative blades on a frame, and I love the way it turned out. So if you haven't tried your decorative blades or the 12-inch trimmer on something like this, maybe you want to go ahead and give that a try. And this is, again, the Totally Tonal. I think this is a Noreen sketch. I'm pretty sure it was, because this is, you know, 2 pieces of background paper, 1 designer paper, 3 cuts. And this, the blue is just the cardstock. So, and again, I kind of ignored, these are supposed to be photo mats, but I scooted it over. And then I think this one is supposed to be 2 photo mats, but I needed to go that way. So I can't remember which paper pack this is. Sorry. One of the things, oh, here we go. So the house had so many beds in each bedroom that we didn't have an official cousin town, but there was a fantastic upstairs playroom where the kids had a great time hanging out. So in the past, we've had all the kids have bunked together. Now our kids are less kid age and more grown-up age, so we haven't necessarily had that, but just kind of random pictures of the cousins. Here they're playing video games and, you know, on the swing, looking at media. I don't know what's happening here. They're do flashlight tag or something. And then I just used then that same paper. Oh, this is denim. This is Denim Blues. I think this might be the Denim Blues project recipe. And this is Welcome Home. This is a layout class I believe Sherry Tilley taught way back during COVID. We did some virtual crops together, and she did a Use the Pack class. And I think this is one of her layouts from Welcome Home or Homestead, one of those. This one I absolutely love. I'm pretty sure this is also a secret virtual crop sketch, but this was the secret box that came out in June, May. That's the one that we got a sneak peek of when we went to the Mexico trip. Those of us that earned the Mexico trip got to see this. And I love the colors. I love this blue. I love this purple. Love the ice cream. It's, you know, there are different kind of ice creams on here, but ours were mostly milkshakes because this area around Bear Lake is famous for its raspberries and raspberry milkshakes. So I said we didn't all go on shake runs together, but hopefully all of us got at least part of a milkshake. So I really like how this turned out. And I often do like a border all the way around the outside edge, but this time I brought it in a little bit, and I like the way that looked. All right, here's another one. I think this is another Noreen sketch. You know, her 1, 2, 3s that she used to do with her Organizing Creative Mom. And I love those. I use them at my crops every week. You know, twice a month when I do my Saturday crops. And so I have a lot of them with all the different paper packs, and they're so versatile. And again, I ignored the photo mat, right? I had a vertical photo mat, but my picture was at an angle, so I just put an angle. I think it works great. This movie night, this is the Showtime project recipe. It is one of the busiest project recipes, and I think because the paper was busy. Whenever I do a sample of the project recipe, before my croppers come to do it together with me, I try to pick the quote-unquote ugliest paper. I do love this one with the little circles, which you can't even barely see, but this is super busy. However, I covered it all up with pictures, and it's fine. You know, just cover it up. And then the last page, I love this story, this journaling. I love that the paper, this is from the Playtime theme pack, matched the sweater. This is a sweater that I said, Nicole bought this rainbow sweater for Michelle probably 18 years ago. We loved it so much that when Michelle grew out of it, we passed it on to the Allens, and both Emily and Alice wore it until it was way too small. Finally, it made it to the Kurds, where both Allie and Cassie wore it. Now Cassie has outgrown it, and at Nicole's request, it's come back to the Sews. Wonder who will be the next to wear it. So if there's ever granddaughters in the Smith fam, I got this rainbow sweater, but I don't know. I might have to just be buried with it because I love it so much. It makes me very happy. All right. End of volume 1. And I think just based on looking at the time on my video screen, I'm going to do separate videos for each of the albums. And I'm just going to stagger these a couple of days apart because nobody wants to sit and watch. Well, I shouldn't say that. But so that you don't have to, you know, sit and watch 2.5 hours of video all at once, I'll do these separate. But I hope you've enjoyed looking through these with me. I enjoyed making them. I love taking them and showing to my family. And you'll see as we get farther into the book how they reacted to these albums every 3 years when I bring them to the reunion. All right, I'll be back again very soon. Thanks a lot, and happy scrapbooking.